combat in Project After with a little sprinkle of AI. So there's four main problems. First, fighters get too close. Second, pacing is too fast and click spamming is an issue. 3, the AI is pretty dumb, and 4, group fights suck. So first problem I tackled is, of course, fighters get too close. First thing on the list, why not? First added a sword trail particle to kind of help with the depth, but helps gauge how close the enemy's attack is. The particle trail is placed at the edge of the weapon's range, used for the collision detection, so it's an actual visual indicator of where you're going to get hit. It really helps, judging attack distances. And the other thing to help with the fighters getting too close is added a knockback system. It's just kind of a linear motion in a direction for a certain amount of time. An attack adds a forward movement. Getting hit will add a large or small backward movement, depending on if you're blocking or not. That improved it a lot, actually. The second part was the pacing and click spamming. Click spamming is kind of a natural reaction to the game. Given a new game, how do you figure out? You mash the buttons. While the combat can still work that way, we want players to be slightly urged away from that over time. There's a couple ways we did that. One of the ways is, since stamina relates to how much damage you deal, we added a vision blur when the player has low stamina. It really helped with telling the player, stop attacking, you're not doing anything. While I was doing that, I also added a death redness and blue effect for low health. Since nobody looks at the bars in the corner anyways, might as well just add something over the whole screen. Next was the actual pacing of the combat. Actions tended to be way too fast for me to keep up. It turns out that this was due to some bugs in the cooldown system, where you keep clicking and you keep parrying or you keep attacking, which isn't right. So fix that bug, and suddenly everything made a lot more sense. The system slowed down to where we actually had programmed it to, and it just felt a lot better. Later, also slowed down the movement quite a bit when blocking, which helps with positioning quite a lot. You don't want someone who's defending to be running around all over the place. In addition, we added a bleeding out system to be kinder to the player, giving them more chances when faced with the inevitable unfair fights that will come from either just being underleveled or our mistakes in design. Basics of this is what normally would be a killing blow, instead it brings you to a bleeding state. You move slower, you can't regen health unless you're healed. However, it allows you to get away and live through a situation that you normally wouldn't have, preventing frustration from having to take the time to travel to another place again. There's definitely a lot more we can do, but right now we got a pretty good base system. Next up is the AI. This took considerably longer. I reworked the structure of the AI code, cleaned up both the Lua and C++ interface, but no one cares about that. All you need to know is that the default attack routine works way better. An enemy actually faces their target and blocks, for one thing. They also now change the direction that they block and attack, which kind of forces the player to experiment, and a little rewarding for those who actually observe it. For the last problem, group fights suck. I actually decided not to go into that. They pretty much always suck. A possible alternative is to have the AI work in squads and limit the amount of members that can attack at once, kind of like in some of the Legend of Zelda games, where you might be surrounded by, say, like 6 enemies, but only one of them or 2 of them come at you at the same time. However, that's a smaller change. Can add that later when people start complaining about actual groups. That's it. Next time, definitely be some more info about the NPCs and their behavior, and possibly some on the world and generation.